Good afternoon.
Good evening. Welcome to being here wherever you are on our amazing planet. I'm Ariel.
I'm Shia.
Today's theme, somewhere.
Over the rainbow.
Oh, that was my, I went really out of tune, but you got the idea.
You went out of tune?
I did.
I didn't know.
Yes, I did.
Did I bring it back on?
You did actually. I'm
Thank
so
you.
impressed.
Thank you.
Lots of times people think someday it'll be good, somewhere else will be good. The magic is right here, right now. We have some
But
amazing guests
it's only
today.
here right now if you're here for it.
Mhm.
It all depends on you. It's up to you.
It is.
It's up to
Ter
you.
sera.
Ter sera or tuum est.
Yes, it is up to you.
Mhm.
Uh,
That's Latin. For
or
it's up to you.
In case you haven't realized it, we do finish each other's sentences and sometimes we even simul speak.
Yeah.
Let's listen today,
Okay.
not only to each other,
Yes.
not only for our listeners to listen to us,
Yes.
but we also have a couple of amazing ladies here today who will be guests. We'll listen to them.
Yes.
There's something magical about listening. There's something that allows you to relax into being yourself and have that be enough.
Mm-hmm.
When you're doing something extra, which most of us often do, where you're scrambling to get better.
If you have an agenda operating in you, then you're never resting. Then it's always a driven to accomplish something which, if accomplished, will never be enough.
Which is always about someday and somewhere else, something else, being a different person.
So many, many years ago, Ariel and I must have been close to 40 years because we were recently married. We were in Switzerland and we were in St. Moritz and it was summer and we decided to climb to the top of the mountain that we saw from our condo because we rented a condo for a few days. And we decided to climb this mountain and we climbed and climbed and climbed and climbed.
And it stopped being fun, but we had a goal, so we were going to get there no matter what.
And we finally got to the top. You know what we discovered?
It wasn't the top.
That's right.
You just couldn't see the top from the perspective at the bottom. We were only partway up. There was really another couple of tops.
Right. We didn't go any further, by the way.
We didn't.
But it taught us a lesson in that we're talking about it 40 years later, that here we were going to achieve this goal and we achieved it, but it wasn't enough.
The other thing about it is somewhere in the middle of that climb, it stopped being relevant that we were in Switzerland, that it was a beautiful day, that we were on vacation. All that happened was it became a grind to get somewhere.
Right.
That was better than this step, this view, this path. It really did teach us a lesson. Luckily, when we got to that quote top that we were expecting to be the finish line, we did start laughing because it was pretty.
Because it was pretty funny. Here we had struggled to get there. We got there and it wasn't there.
The Swiss guys were going, Ariel, Shia. We laughed right along with them. And truthfully, going down was harder than going up, even because my legs were fatigued and the whole thing.
Yeah.
So it was a really good real-time
lesson that what you think will make you happy doesn't. Rarely does. When it's achieved.
And you'll blow your nose at that. Why not? Okay, so how about we pick our first guest?
Okay, let's.
All right. Andrea. Welcome to being here. Tell people where you're zooming in from.
Thank you for having me. This is Andrea, and I'm in Basel in Switzerland. And I just loved your story about the mountain you climbed in St. Moritz. That's awesome.
You can picture it, right?
I could. I saw you guys in my mind. I just saw you guys climbing up and you're like, oh, Oh, not the top. So,
But it was a good lesson learned.
It was a good lesson learned. And of course, we've been rather living a somewhat sedentary lifestyle before that. So if I were to go there now, I don't know that it would be as challenging. It might be, I have no picture.
Lucky you're 40 years younger than.
That's true, but we sure hadn't been doing a whole lot of exercise. So it was kind of like, whoa, 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 this was a good
And
idea.
it was at altitude.
And we
yeah.
didn't have water with us. We brought a
Wine,
bottle of wine and
which is about the worst thing you can bring for climbing mountains.
anyway, we made lots of fun mistakes and we lived to tell the tale.
Yes.
Hey, this shout out to you, actually. This was your suggestion of a theme. We asked people, hey, what would you like to talk about on being here? And this was your idea. So maybe you
Not
can
to
do
put-
a better rendition of the beginning of Somewhere Over the Rainbow.
Somewhere over the rainbow, skies are blue, and I don't know the words as they go along, but I like to be with you.
All right. Very well done.
I like making up your own words. That was really, really lovely.
I was so excited to be on this episode because that when you asked about the title, this just came to me because I remembered when I first met you, where I met you when I was in my early 20s, and that was a time in my life where I several times had the thought, if this is it in life, I'm not gonna make it that far. And somehow I came across you guys and this whole community because I was looking for a different style of singing. I'm a singer and a singing teacher, and I met Ursula, and Ursula told me about you. And back then, there was no concept for me that life can be as magic as it is today. That was just not a reality that I could have imagined, you know.
Mm.
Because then I think I was, first of all, I thought so much that I probably missed most of the things in my life, and I was always working on feeling better. I think that was the goal back then. I wanted to feel better, and I had no clue how to feel better. And then
I'm happy that was your goal back then.
yeah,
Because that led you ultimately to the moment.
that's true.
You know, and the courage to look and the courage to admit to yourself that you didn't feel so good. And if this is all life has to offer, it's pretty bleak. That you want
That's the word. That's a good word. Yeah.
that you're still willing to look for what you knew, which in that moment was a different style of singing, because if you sang differently, maybe you'd feel better.
Yeah.
And it opened the door to this moment, and here we are. So somewhere, not over the rainbow, but right here, right now, my hat is off, or we're saying kudos to young Andrea for, even in the midst of what felt like despair, just giving you my take on what you're saying.
Yeah.
You still went for it. That took courage.
Thank you. Yeah. And when I was looking up the lyrics of Somewhere Over the Rainbow today, and when I saw them, it felt like the song is about a fairy tale land of magic, full of magic. And I was in my garden today, and I felt like I'm surrounded by magic in my day-to-day life these days. And that's just magic, you know? That's just magic.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
I mean, I really mean that. You know, so many people think that their lives should be different, but they do the same things over and over again, and they give up. And you didn't. Congratulations.
And you really have kept investing in yourself, which is huge.
And that investment in yourself and in discovering and rediscovering the moment. See, your mind compensates. It says, oh, we've done this before. Oh, I know this. I don't need that.
That's true.
And if you listen to it, it puts you to sleep and you stop going for possibility. You settle for what you've got is, okay, this is good enough. And there's so much more available to you.
Yeah, that's true.
But there's this thing called entropy, where things go from order to disorder. And it's that way with us, our minds. We get things together. We take a seminar and we feel like, oh, hey, I'm alive. And then slowly but surely, our eyes go closed to our reality, and we're back or almost back where we started.
I think people, though, judge themselves for that happening, as opposed to, you certainly wouldn't judge yourself if at the end of the week and you hadn't taken a shower, you were feeling kind of dirty and your hair felt kind of greasy, and you were, and then you take a shower and you get out and it's like, wow, that felt really good. I feel really good. I see that from what you were talking about. You initially thought about your life rather than lived it.
That's right.
And you've invested in this. And also you are now investing in give back. You're not here with us on being here today primarily to get something. You will get something because you're fully engaged, but you're here in a certain respect as a give back.
Yes.
To make a difference. And that is one of the access ways to magic.
I like that. Because
Yeah, when you take your attention off yourself and trying to get better, suddenly you are better, and then you make a difference in the people's lives around you.
I talked about it in last week's episode, how I had gone to the dentist here, and it was complex what they were doing. It took 2.5 hours, and there was quite a bit of discomfort involved, and lots of different procedures. And my give back was bringing some of my cards, and I was giving them to the staff, and we were sharing photos.
She says her cards, she makes greeting cards with photos that she's taken.
So I grabbed a handful with pictures that I thought might spur their imagination. And because I'd gone there the day before and they'd fixed something that then broke overnight, and I went back the next day, I'm like, here's some of the pictures I was showing you. I thought you might like one of these cards, so you could write a card and send it to a friend. And she picked one, and then somebody else picked a different one. And then it was in the last thing, I left the office at night. It was like 7:30. And I realized I still had one in my hand, and I went to open it up, and office was locked. And they saw me twiggling the handle. And I said, I'll be right there. I'll be right there. And she opened the door, and it was the woman who I had not given a card to. I said, I realized I have this one for you. And she was so excited about her life in that moment.
oh, that's so sweet.
It also made the entire thing rather pleasant, as opposed to this uncomfortable saga with my teeth.
That's so cool. Wow. I love your photos. I have one of a very beautiful butterfly at home. Yeah. I was just, before I came on here, I was in the garden, and I came back and I saw my neighbor, Ursula. And my neighbor, she's very sweet, and I gave her a sweet potato plant. When I was growing sweet potato plants out of a sweet potato I planted last year in my garden. And so we dug out her sweet potatoes from that plant that she planted together, and she was so happy about it. That just reminded me of that. I give away my plants. So.
And doesn't it give you so much pleasure to see them flourish in somebody else's garden?
Yeah, it's so much fun. My mom sent me a picture of the sweet potatoes she harvested yesterday. It's her birthday today, so probably was a good birthday gift.
You know, it occurs to me, you were sharing, I don't recall, but I believe it was on one of our Living Made Easy 2-hour seminars. And you were talking about your garden and the magic of your garden. You got so excited about your garden that I got excited about the potential of gardening. We went out and bought basil plants, and we bought tomato plants and thyme, and the harvest here has been massive and exquisite. And I'm gonna call our neighbors because we have basil plants. We can't, there's only so much pesto we can make to see if they want any. So
Oh, sweet. I like that.
your passion and enthusiasm has transferred across the pond to the US, and people are reaping the benefits.
No, I'm so happy about this.
Excellent. Thank you for this subject, and thank you for being with us today.
Thank you, guys. It's a pleasure.
Yes, it is a pleasure. Hey, you want to hear about transformation? We've got one of our listeners about to tell you about what's happened in their life out of listening to being here.
Here's Christian from Munich speaking. And I love the podcast from Ariel and Shaya. It doesn't matter for how long I listen to them, even it's like 5 minutes, 30 minutes, however, how long, it lights up my life. Thank you so much.
Do you want to have well-being with consistency? Connect with people all over the world from the comfort of your own home at Ariel and Shire's lively interactive Living Made Easy virtual seminars. Join any of their 2-hour online events or take a deep dive into the magic of being you at a virtual weekend seminar. Come on, let's connect. Find out more and register at transformationmadeeasy.com.
If you'd like to join us for one of our Living Made Easy seminars, the next one's Saturday and then the following Monday. If you're listening to this in the archive, all you have to do is check our schedule and see what's up next. Our next weekend seminar
is Relax into Life. That's December 3rd and 4th. It's a virtual seminar, and you can register for it by going to our website, transformationmadeeasy.com. There you have it.
We have a couple other things that are open. Transformational time and project management is what we're offering right after the first of the year on the 7th and 8th of January. We thought it would be fun to play around with transformational time and project management rather than making resolutions how to do better, be better, live better in the new year.
And then we have Costa Rica 2023. It is now open.
Yeah.
And as a prerequisite, you need to have done a weekend seminar with us within the last year. And
so if you haven't done one and you'd like to join us in Costa Rica, those next two are your options. Feel free to contact us if you have any questions. And you can find out much more and register at transformationmadeeasy.com. All right, let's take our next guest. All right, Ursula, welcome to being here.
Hi, Ursula.
Hi, both of you.
Where are you zooming in from?
I'm zooming in from St. Gallen, Switzerland.
So you were the Ursula who was the singing teacher, not the neighbor with the sweet potatoes.
Yes, but I could imagine myself with a sweet potato plant.
One may be coming your way.
I love sweet potatoes.
They're good.
Yeah.
All right, let's hear your, why not? More music, Somewhere Over the Rainbow, but at least the first line. You know that first line, don't you?
We'll see. Somewhere over the rainbow, way up high, There's a land that you dream of once in a lullaby.
Ooh, we got to
All
have
right.
the high version and the lower version, and they were both very sexy.
Yes, that is so, I was so laughing when Andrea called me and she said, do you want to call in? You know, that would be so lovely because it's my theme and I love this song. And it reminded me so much that I loved yearning all my life. I thought it was very elegant.
Yearning for someone someday. Somewhere.
Yes, someday, somewhere. And the only thing that I didn't like in this song was the ending where it says, why, oh, why can't I? Because I always imagined that something should come from yearning.
Well, what comes from yearning is yearning.
Yes.
Although like us, in the movie, Dorothy yearns for somewhere better, like we did the top of the mountain, only to discover that it was a fantasy, a joke. And the end, she's like, there's no place like home. She realized that really was about coming home to herself.
And wherever you are is home.
If you're comfortable in your own skin.
Right.
Yes, it is. I'm in my fall holidays. I'm a teacher and I got to do an excursion today. I actually made a date with one of my oldest students that I have that hasn't been coming a lot lately. And we agreed, she was in the region. She still has a house of her family in Appenzell, which is not far from here, but a beautiful ride with a train. So I said, well, and because she was so apologetic, so saying, I'm so sorry, can't call my voice. It's not, you know, it's, and I feel I should be good in voice if I come to you. And I said, well, if you're here, why don't I come and visit? And we'll just have coffee together at your place. It's such a beautiful ride. And I'm in my holidays and I have this yearning to do excursions, but I don't, if I don't go to visit anybody, I don't do it on my own. And so we both agreed and I went and I had this idea because my mind likes to make plans. You know, I'm going to enjoy it. It's a beautiful day. I'm just going to look out the window. And then I looked at my phone and I saw an email that was really important and I answered it. And suddenly I was there and I thought, oh, I missed the beautiful trip. And then I thought, well, maybe the answering of that email went so smoothly because it was a wonderful trip.
But also, if you hadn't answered it and you looked out the window, you would have been with this gal worrying about completing that email. So it's all perfect.
That's the thing. Yes. It's as if I've become so much better at forgiving my brain for what it's doing. You know, it's just thinking.
That's what it does, right?
I love that you said forgiving my brain. You know, you pause slightly, forgiving my, and you know, my mind did not come up with the word brain. That was really cool.
Yeah, because it's going to do it anyway.
But what it's going to do is think.
Yes.
Yeah.
You
don't have to necessarily go along for the ride. It just does its thing.
Yeah, yeah. And then I, of course, I had the idea coming back, I will look out the window. And I was sitting in a place where the sun was shining exactly into my eyes, so I couldn't see anything.
Maybe making plans does not determine how your future turns out.
Yeah, and it was an opportunity to laugh and to enjoy my day.
And it sounds like there's an opportunity to close your eyes and bask in the sun.
Yes, that's what I thought. Yes, and another thing happened that was just so beautiful today. My cat has had an accident and he's got a cast on one of his forearms. And today was the first day that the vet allowed him to come out of this one-room apartment that I created for him. and he's about exploring the whole flat again. And he's so happy to do that. He's like, I had visitors and he went to say hi, and he was lying down under the table and on the table, and he is just having a blast.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah, it's just, the moment is just so precious. And I would never, maybe I would, but I don't think I would have found the moment with having such a beautiful, humorous time as when I met you. Thank you forever.
Well, thank you for thanking
forever.
us, because, it's so easy to forget when you get upset. You forget that there's a possibility called your life rather than what you think is important in the upset.
Yes.
And similar to how we can laugh at our excursion to St. Moritz and our climb, I remember the early versions of you and how we all laugh about who we were back then, and how the year that you put your passport in a drawer to keep it safe at a hotel in Costa Rica and then left it there and didn't discover it until it was time to go home. And how it all worked out for us to have it arranged to be driven to the airport in time, and you met it there, but how frightened and frantic and just who you were back then. This amusement at life was not as easily accessible to that person.
No, I so wanted to do everything the only right way. Yeah.
I love that. Because that's where we all start from. My way is the right way, or the wrong way. We're right that it's wrong, but either way.
We're right that it's wrong. I love that one. Yes. Yes, it's much, much more fun the other way.
What a treat being with you today.
Oh, likewise. Thank you.
Yeah, such a pleasure, Ursula. Thank you for allowing us to partner you in your journey through life.
And we're so happy you're coming to Costa Rica again this year, because clearly you don't, quote, need it. You're coming as a celebration of Ursula.
Oh, yeah. And that's worth a celebration.
Yes.
Excellent.
Oh, by the way, your school is lucky to have you as a teacher in your school.
Thank you, Shaya.
Wow. If you want to be a guest, you can even invite your own guests along with you, like Andrea did. You can just go to transformationmadeeasy.com/being here and find out how. And also those listener spotlights, the people from our community talking about their experience of transformation, or this podcast, or the books, or the seminars. You can leave a listener spotlight as well. Again, just go to transformationmadeeasy.com/being here. Next week's episode
Is
feeling sad,
tense,
happy,
insecure,
or all of the above?
perfect.
We'll be back next week.
So come on back.
And don't miss
Being
being